This is the oceanic carbon pump. How does carbon move through the biological carbon pump?
Great job. Downward towards ocean floor is the accurate answer.
Environmental risks and well-organized protests are reasons for WHO to be reluctant in exploiting unconventional fossil fuels.
You chose governments? And it is correct. Which country aims to be carbon neutral by 2021 through the exploitation of solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal energy? Excellent choice. Costa Rica is the right answer. What is the point reached in the Kuznets curve when attitudes towards the environment change towards conservation? You got it. Your choice critical. Threshold tipping point is right. In the biological pump, name the organisms responsible for taking carbon out of the atmosphere by photosynthesis. Exactly. Phytoplankton makes sense, and it is right choice. What model is this? Great thinking. Thermohaline circulation is the right choice. What model tests the hypothetical relationship between environmental quality and economic development? Good job. Your answer Kuznets curve works well here. The combination of different available energy resources used to meet a country's total energy demand. Correct response. Energy mix is the most accurate answer. What are the 3 key elements that must be present for a country to have energy security? Correct. Reliability, accessibility, affordability is the right answer. In the carbonate pump, what chemical compound is used by animals to create their shells? Bravo! Calcium carbonate is the answer. How much carbon does volcanic degassing return to the atmosphere annually? Well, Picto 0.645 billion tons is the correct answer. What are these examples of carbon, capture and storage, and hydrogen fuel cells? Strong choice. Radical Technologies is the right answer. What percentage of the global population lacks access to modern energy supplies? Right choice. 20% is the best answer. In Iran and Azerbaijan, which sector is the largest consumer of electricity? Perfect. The residential is the correct choice. How much carbon does the biological pump sequester into the oceans annually? Smart move. 2 billion tons is an accurate answer. What are the stages in terrestrial carbon being returned to the atmosphere? You're right. Photosynthesis, transpiration, decay is the correct answer. What is the major source of energy for Paraguay's electricity production? Nicely done. Hydropower is a solid answer. Uninterrupted availability of energy sources at an affordable price. Right again. Energy security is a valid answer. What is the Clean Power Plan announced in 2015 aimed at reducing? Good thinking. Greenhouse gas emissions is the right answer. Which country is the world's 4th largest user of solar energy? Solid response. Japan is a valid choice. What 3 countries are the leading consumers of fossil fuels? Valid point. China, USA, and India is true. In Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan, the primary gas consumer is? Clear logic. Your choice. The residential sector is sound and 100% true.
What determines the capacity of soil to store organic carbon? Nice work. You chose all of them and it is correct. What is the main source of energy for most homes in Iceland? Oh. On track. Geothermal power is the correct answer.
The primary source for electricity generation in Armenia is
Nice selection. Natural gas is the correct and valid answer. Which one of these does not add CO2 to the atmosphere? Sharp thinking. Planting trees is the right choice. What is the main source of global energy supplies? Well done. Fossil fuels is the right choice. Very minimal share of domestic gas production has. Smart pick. Georgia and Turkey is the correct choice. The Energy Security Index for Armenian is well reasoned. 57% is the correct choice. Which of the following is not a form of carbon? Excellent. Light is a brilliant choice. Which country is not a member of OPEC? Clear logic. Your choice, Russia, is sound and 100% true. What does not produce carbon dioxide? Nice selection. Photosynthesis is the correct and valid answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Good job. Your answer, contact Narayan Changder, works well here.